an inexpensive honing guide that we carry that is a mass-produced reproduction of the Eclipse guide, which was made in England. It's no longer made. It has some deficiencies. It's not a terribly well-made thing, but if you do a couple of simple modifications to it, it works exceptionally well. It's probably one of the most versatile honing guides you can get today, even as simple and inexpensive as it is. Basically, the issue with it is when you tighten down on a blade, if you've got your blade in here and tighten down on it, there's going to be a flexing that happens because there's not a lot of precision in the machining. So when you flex up, you crown in the middle and the blade will rock on that middle point. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some material off of this surface. I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch inset and with a file remove some material here on the middle section. I'm trying not to, or I want to create a little bit of a bevel here so that my point of contact is going to be out here in the corner. So I'm not going to hit that area with the file. I'm just going to be working this center section on both sides. The other area that I need to work is down inside the jig itself. Because you can work blades to 1.5 inches on this upper jaw section. But if you're doing chisels or narrow blades, they're going to need to be done down inside this little area here. Anything that's not a bevel edge chisel won't catch in this area here. You need your blade to catch on that lip. This is essentially a straight line through here. There's a triangle cut in that lets the blade get in underneath that and register. So we need to take a little bit of material off of this surface down here. Again, we don't want to hit into the corner itself. We're just going to work the bottom or tip of the triangle with the side of the file. The last thing to do is if you're going to be sharpening very steep angles, you'll find you can't bring this forward far enough to get a 45 or even 50-degree angle. So we need to take a little bit of material off of the face. For me, the front of the jig is determined by the position of this screw. I'm right-handed. I want that to be on the right-hand side, so that makes this the front of the jig. And I'll do that on some sandpaper. So the first thing we want to do is get the center. I'll just clamp that in the vise. And this is what's called a chip breaker file. It's a very aggressive, coarse file that has a grid pattern in it that makes it work nicely with aluminum. I'm just angling the file slightly so that it's not flat across. And I've got a file card here to clean out the aluminum filings. I'll check that with a blade. When I tighten down there, I should be able to see light underneath the blade in the middle section. Now I've got a gap in the middle area underneath the blade. And open this as wide as I can. And again, clamp that into the vise on edge. And now I'm working this surface down inside. Now you'll notice when you're doing this that one side of this is straight and one side has a curve on it. And you want to follow those shapes. In this case, I'm doing the flat side, so I'm just keeping everything as flat and straight as I can, but not working into the corner itself. The reason to follow this curve that's here is you then have one point of contact on a blade up against a straight line. So it makes the thing grab a little more easily. So now with that, I've removed enough material that a thick blade or a very wide blade that comes down to this section here will still catch underneath that little lip. To remove some material off the front, just go to some sandpaper. And the only limitation here is you don't want to make this so thin that the casting can break around the pin going through. But you can take off as much material as you need to get that to come forward to a very tight projection. If you then have your blade in, you simply want to be able to make sure that the blade, or that you can see light underneath the jig when you sight across there. Figure out what the tightest projection you'll ever work with is, and that's, you want to make sure you've got clearance for that projection distance. And that's it. That will take this jig from the back of your drawer out to your sharpening station.